Okay. So I would invite you to just take a big breath in and let it out. And let that part of your brain that's filled up with information just take a rest for a few moments. Take another breath in. Good. And let your body just soften into the chair. Your shoulders come down from your ears a little bit. And your body relax and feel yourself become much more present. Just you and your own little island of your being on the chair. And yet you're aware of the family around you, each one of you here, on purpose, to be a part of this living, breathing consciousness in this moment. And allow that part of you that is connected to the divine to just be in this moment of divine love, divine opening. And the part of you that's connected to the earth through your feet, through your body. Just feel the support of our beautiful Gaia beneath you. And the cosmic divine above you, as you are suspended between heaven and earth in this moment. And each breath you breathe from above and below through your physical being mixes those energies together, those heaven and earth energies, and opens you at a place in the center, a place in your heart, a place in your belly, where you receive the information and the guidance that comes in the form of divine love for you, for this day, for this moment.
Greetings, dear ones. I am Kryon of Magnetic Service. My partner steps aside. I continue to say that so those in the room will understand the process. This is not my partner speaking. And it is your discernment, is it not, whether that is true? For there is no proof that it's going to descend upon you to show it to you. Or is there? And that's what we want to talk about. This is a new energy, dear ones, and this is an energy that is going to allow these kinds of things to show themselves as proof to you in the very part of you which is awakening, and that is the intuitive, emotional, human part. Some have called it the heart part. It is more than that. There's a vast amount of your DNA dedicated to what we will call the smart body complex. Parts of your DNA that recognize multidimensional energy and work with it and activate with it, including the peace of God that you have and the pineal that you have. And these are the things that are not in your intellect and not in your synapse. My partner spent over 40 years of his life as a doubter, complete doubter. All of his training and all of his education and all of his experience as a linear engineer with logic and synapse and intellect talked him out of God. Until he allowed one day to cross a bridge that would allow the rest of his DNA to begin to work with him. How do we describe this to any human being. If you want to stay in 3D, there won't be any trouble, because that's where you were born, and that's how you're taught, most of you. And that's what's real. And that's what you can see, and that's what your logic says should be. But what happens, dear ones, when you even push the envelope a little bit? How can you prove love? You can't. There is no way for you to prove that you love someone or that they love you. That is a perception. It's more than an emotion. It's a state of being. And you all know that you have to start using your intuition for those kinds of things. And so it gets into the feeling instead of the thinking part of the human being, and it starts to broach the bridge that will begin to open a part that you have and always have had. It is so ready for the rest of the story. The linear part of you, the synapse, the intellect, the brain, it's only half. There is so much more. The other half that wants to balance with you is the part that you cannot prove, but you can feel. Some of you start to see the colors and feel the energies of proof and validation that what I am telling you right now is accurate and true, and you even know where it's coming from because you've been there. Can you acknowledge you're a piece of God? Why are you in the room? Are you just here to take a look? Well, maybe there is something here for you, and it wouldn't be joining anything. We're going to talk about that tonight. We have a series going called the Demystification of the Esoteric New Age. We want to give some definitions of some common things and tell you some things about it so that there's no miscommunication so you can move forward. But one of them is about this bridge. 2014 and beyond creates energies that invite you to open the bridge, to stop fearing it, and to let it start to enhance your life in so many ways. Your synapse and logic can only do so much. You probably are aware of that. Synapse and logic is only based upon experienced past. That's it. Intuition, on the other hand, is something that comes from a source which is beyond you. It's the God part of you, inside you, a bigger picture from a bigger place. And you know you have it. Let me ask you something. 85% of the earth believes in the afterlife. That when you die, you don't just stop. That there is a consciousness that continues. And this is overwhelmingly every single religion on the planet. 85% of humanity, more than wishful thinking. If that is so, that means it's intuitive in your mindset. You know there's something more. If you want to know what it is, I'll tell you. And it may fly in the face of doctrine and some of the religious organizations, but I will tell you there is a God inside you that every single master on this planet has told you is there. And it's not just some deity that visits your DNA, it's you. You are a piece of creation. You have the wisdom of creation if you could touch it. Your DNA, which is working very poorly, when it starts to connect through this bridge which is coming, your smart body, which is called the innate, starts to awaken. It's going to help you with health. It's going to help you be your own medical intuitive. It's going to help you eat right, know what to do next. That's how it was built. The bridge is starting to be activated more now than ever before. You had to work hard to recognize intuitive thought. And I'm telling you that this new energy is going to create a balance. And so you're going to know far easier. And all of these questions that humans, like in this room, will ask over and over, how do I know? What do I do? What does it feel like? Are all going to disappear. Because you're going to know what it feels like. Now let's return to the beginning. Is this a real message, or is my partner pretending? And I'm going to challenge you right now. Can you feel the love of God pouring into this room, wanting to hold your hand or not? You're not here by accident, dear ones. You sat in the chairs to learn a little bit more about yourself. How about it? Will you allow it? Or will you sit there with your brain and your intellect and close off what we have? It's time for this to open. And it's not going to be harmful to you. You don't have to join anything. There's nothing past that, which is beautiful. How would you like a more peaceful, less dramatic life? It's there for you. If you're one who has spun in drama, it's because this bridge was never quite opened all the way. Oh, you wanted it to be. And you could see through it, and you could be interested in the things on the other side, but you never could quite cross it. It's time to build that bridge. It creates a peaceful life. Synchronicity in your life will fall into place, and life will not fight you anymore if you build this bridge. If you sit there in 3D with your brain and your synapse hoping to build it, it's just, the drama will continue. You actively have to cross it. And when you do, it's going to be because your logic says you should. And your intuition says it's okay. Do you understand you are not buying into a belief system? You're doing something which is the most natural thing you could ever do. And that is to start marrying with what you were created for. I know who's in the room. I've got old souls mostly. I've got healers, I've got channelers, I've got writers. I have a medical intuitive, I got a psychologist. I know who's here. And all of you are the same in this invitation. And it will enhance everything you know. It doesn't wipe out a thing. Things start to make sense in your life, and you start to see a path clearer. And when you start moving in certain directions that your intuition shows you, you get support. Isn't it time you were done with an uphill climb, dear one, where everything metaphysical you had to pay a little bit for? In energy, or perhaps lack of friends, or a family that didn't understand you. That's going to change, because you are now going to show them who you are through your actions and your love instead of words and books. And that is what is going to change the planet. That is the message of Kryon from now on. From now on. I came to the planet 24 years ago for this moment. So I could sit in 2014 past the precession of the equinoxes and tell you you got a job to do, and you're very well equipped to cross that bridge and to start something you came for. You realize why you're here. Not an accident. It doesn't matter how old or young you are. These things are yours. The channeling tonight will be filled with facts, things you need to hear, perhaps some things you don't want to hear, perhaps some things you've learned one way and I'm going to tell you another, perhaps some things you won't even agree with. And it's all okay. It's time to settle the difference between mythology and tradition and a reality and the grandness of truth, which I will help you with later. These are teaching for old souls. That's why you came. You deserve it, you've earned it, and it's time to move. And I'm so glad I'm here. And so it is.